should be on. Of course, double check. And we're live already. Awesome. So we just need to keep watching this window actually. Yeah, we don't even care about this because the chat and the viewers, we can see everything here.
Yeah.
So this is cleaner. Okay. Let's try like this. I just switched his whole thing here. Alright. Wait, maybe it's fine. We're gonna slow down the time here so we can...
Oh.
Aspect ratio... There we go. Okay. So let's see here. I'm gonna slow it really... Alright. No, this is the last one. I did not update it at all.
Because you haven't updated prefab.
But I thought I just scrolled it into this one, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't even do it. Maybe I'm tripping. Okay.
Oh, we have
Oh,
viewers.
hello everybody. We are testing out a new animation and we just got some things separated, attack from the attack back. We're gonna try it out right now. Orc 5 and here. Yeah, we
Yeah,
need
you
to
haven't
have the
switched
skin.
actually.
Here it is. You can barely hear me. Well, is this better? I just increased it and in OBS we are pretty loud, so I can't do much more. This is, we're hitting yellow almost. Okay, now.
Okay.
Is it like good because you can hear us or good who cares? Alright, let's see if this works now. Walk.
No.
We changed the walk
Yeah.
into walking and now it's again walk, so we just need to change that.
Unit class.
Unit.
All the way down.
Alright, now it's walk.
Yeah.
And should work. Wait, I can hear. It has. Yeah, this is working. So I think he cut the animation a little bit too soon. Look at this, at the slow time. It's striking here already. It should be striking when it's down on the ground. Exactly where the... Yeah. I mean... Come on, let's do it. Let's think about it.
Started earlier today. Yeah, like 3 minutes.
Yeah, because we wanted to try out new animations and we figured that we should just... Wait. So, where is it exactly? Yeah, it's too soon.
It's too soon.
Alright, I'm gonna show this to Buddy. Yeah, so I'm just gonna say it privately. Attack animation is cut a bit too soon. It should been cut exactly at the execute attack. Was that how the event was called? Wait, I have it here.
Like on this image, when the X is down.
I probably wrote it somewhere here.
No, you better
yeah,
resend him this
image.
image.
Yeah.
And this one. And this one, you can capture this one
I
too.
already did it. Here it is.
Huh.
Should have been cut exactly at the point where kids event was right here. We usually try to talk about the game a little bit more while streaming, but right now we have to just send this because we just got these files and okay. So I guess that would be clear enough. But alright, awesome thing is that now we have both sides, so we can actually have the orc orc enemy, and we can have him be... Wait, I did not apply this. I need to apply it. So prefabs, no.
No, resources.
Okay, units, and I'm just gonna rename him Orc Warrior.
No. Orc.
Well, alright.
Because they'll be bags, you know.
Yeah, it won't be able to recreate him. Okay, so enemy Orc Warrior. And now we did not set him, we did not make him change the color yet, but because we just got this like 5 minutes ago, but we're gonna do it manually. What is happening? Why? We didn't do that at all. We were just testing the guys on the left, and we never noticed that they're not rotating. Yeah. Alright, that's another thing for tomorrow to do.
Yeah.
Alright. But here it is. So let's we're gonna check out the rest of the animation later, but right now let's see what we have to talk here about. So yeah, we should talk about how the animation is progressing. By the way, for everybody who is watching, who is not familiar with what we are doing, we are making a Gladiator game in fantasy world where you manage all kinds of characters like orcs and undeads and mages. So you're making your own teams and they're fighting against other teams and stuff like that. Alright.
Good English.
We're fairly early in the development, but we already have some stuff going on, and yeah. So in this we stream every day and talk about what is going on and how the game is progressing. This is to-do list. This is what we've done. No, we done this too.
Yeah.
This is working. Yeah. So one thing that we did, I'm gonna remove this one because he's distracting a little bit with his backwards movement. So one thing that we did is that we made the game work on different kind of updates. So if we go really slow, you can see that the animation is really smooth here. Well, this guy is sprite animated, so he's moving frame by frame, because this is like how much, maybe 10% of the speed, while he's completely smooth. Alright, so he's not doing parry, he's doing some placeholder animation, but that's... Alright, so what else did we do? No, not this one. Animation moving from fixed to update. There's not much. There's not that much to tell about what we did. Basically, the whole thing wasn't working before. Right now, he has a spine animation, and that is what is working right now.
Yeah, we also want to talk about dropping the weapons and throwing. So we had the idea that units, for example, this orc, he could throw the weapon, and then he would, if he finds a weapon in his way, he would pick it up and then throw it again.
If somebody dies, they could drop a weapon.
Yeah.
So he could pick it up, but
That's really a good idea, really.
Yeah.
But there is so many problems and things since these are fighting on their own, basically, and the problem is this AI. How could we know what's the best thing to do? To go fight, punch someone, or to go pick up the weapon and throw it at someone? And it's a really long story, so
right. So yeah, the problem would be if should he pick up the weapon and throw it at Archer, or should he just rush towards the Archer and fight
Yeah.
him? Should he lose his time on this or on that?
since if he pick up
And-
the weapon and throw it at the archer and miss him, that's like the
Yeah.
players would be like, what, god damn it, why you should do that? Or
Exactly.
so
Even Archer, that could be alright. You can say, alright, it's a good thing to pick it up. But what if weapon is behind him, a little bit behind him, and maybe there are two guys fighting, and instead of coming there and helping him, he goes back, he picks up the weapon,
and then
throws
he
it.
miss.
Yeah, and
And
even
then-
if he doesn't miss, or if
Yeah.
even if players said, alright, he missed, that's randomly happening. But still, they maybe. Even if he hits the target and still he wouldn't do as much damage maybe as if he just
Yeah,
walked
maybe.
there and fought him, yeah. So we figure
And that's basically impossible to predict what's the
Exactly,
best
yeah.
to do, because there is no processing power for this.
yeah, the best comparison we got was soccer players, because everybody watching soccer is like, no, you shouldn't do that, do something else. And these people are training their whole lives for that, and they are the best in the world, and they're still not good enough. So, I mean, they are, but they're not. People still think they're better things to do. So that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Good.
no.
I just wanted to
forgot
move
the
on.
word.
All right. I just wanted to move on and say that we figured that we won't have that, so he will just have one axe on his back that he can throw.
Show it with the mouse.
Yeah, I'm showing it with my hands, like, so. He would have like an axe here, right?
But on
And-
his back.
On his back, yeah, and he might have two. So some of them might have two axes. This is more like a hammer, but whatever. And so he would throw one, and it would like stay on the ground, and nobody can pick it up. And then he can pick another one and throw another one if he has two, or maybe some orcs has only one. But it's pretty strong. It knocks somebody's out, and some weaker character it might be able to kill if.
Those art skills.
Yeah, you see, that should. I should have kept developing that. So, alright. We will still keep the dead bodies mechanics. So basically there is a class like a warlock, or maybe some other classes will be able to do that also. So imagine going 2 versus 2. And there is a warlock and maybe a warrior, and the other guy is I don't know, priest and a mage. And then whenever somebody dies, the warlock can actually consume like the essence of their life that just faded away, or their energy in their body, and then use it for some abilities. For instance, some strong firebolt, shadow bolt ability, or some shield, or anything like that. And the interesting thing there would be, because you can actually predict, like, there are a lot of units here, so warlock is going to be pretty useful here, because a lot of dead bodies, so he can do his thing. Or maybe you can actually use undead units so that he cannot use their dead bodies. So there is something that we would keep there. And let's see. Oh, range. Yeah. So here is this thing. As you can see here, as the warrior approaches this orc, he'll keep hitting him, but right now, alright, this turned out pretty good, but if he did not knock him out, the warrior would be kind of here, and he would be hitting him with his, like, hand and, what is
Not
this,
hand, like
stuff?
candle. Like,
handle thing,
I
yeah.
don't know the word.
Yeah,
handle of the axe.
Yeah,
Axe handle, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
So we figured, alright, let's make his axe really strong, but let's make him have to use the range. So it's both for long axes or maybe for spears and stuff like that, so that they would actually have to be at the range. And in this case, he could hit the warrior like when they are approaching each other. He could attack here, but now he would have to use his hand and punch him.
Yeah.
Unless he has another ability that is kick, and then he can actually kick him away so the warrior bounces back, maybe he even knocks him down, and then uses his axe again. And axe will be even stronger, so it will balance it out, and overall it will even look better and it will have more dynamic. Like, alright, orc is really strong when they just encounter each other, but when they get into a melee fight close to each other, not as effective, right? Yeah.
You can put it now, and there can be example of this. That's like.
Yeah, so he's hit. Look what he's hitting with.
With that.
Yeah.
Axe
he
handle,
should be at least here. All right. Range. So.
Yeah. Range.
Brainstorm some actions and talk about what we will do tomorrow. Let's open the actions here. I'm just opening the document with actions and characters and ideas that we want.
Will animations for the other characters be ready soon? Can't wait to see. Yeah, for the warrior, for this guy.
Actually, let's show the progress.
Yeah.
No, not there. Here. Not here. Here. There we go. Here he is. So Goran, our artist, illustrator, he just drew redrew him. Here he is. It's a long story, never mind now, but overall, now we have this character. We also need the backside, and the animator will start doing him as soon as we figure out what we are doing with all the animations and stuff, because we need to just align everything. A lot of stuff is here going on.
There's a lot of placeholder, like this warrior, for example. That's placeholder art, and so...
This is him, actually. This is the guy.
Yeah, that's actually him. Yeah.
Almost the same. So, game design, units and action. Alright, here we go.
You can bring this this window.
This one?
Yeah.
I think we should have it here because this is the next thing that we can talk about. Alright, so for everybody who is listening, who is not sure what is going on, we are making a Gladiator fantasy game, Gladiator management game in a fantasy world. Fantasy game. So you would manage your team of gladiators, and it would be like orcs and mages and elves and whatnot, and you need to combine your team to win the other team and rise in your rank. And so if you are interested in something like this, we are streaming every weekday at this exact time, and you can join on Discord, where we would share some beta testing keys at some point, probably. Well, we'll see. So
yeah, feel free to write us some ideas if you have.
Yeah,
that would be great.
Definitely. Right now, we wanted to talk a little bit about just some new characters that we had in mind and what abilities they would have. But if you guys have any ideas for maybe a class or some ability that they could have, like, feel free to share it. And this is actually the purpose of this stream, to just talk with people and see what you guys would like to see in the game. So we covered this yesterday a little bit. We just gone through it really quickly, but let's see some of the new ideas. Alright, so we would have this guy Cleric. So he's kind of a support character, like we have Priest right now, and this I should probably let this play well. Like, let them...
And maybe
let them
put
fight.
some...
Like, I will add priest with the warrior. And let's see how they do. Maybe they can win. Alright. So, this cleric guy, he would he would also have a shield like warrior, like he can block, but every time he blocks he actually absorbs that energy, so he would get like one stack here above his head, and then these stacks are the things that he would use to heal his allies, to give them additional damage. And actually orc hitting him, I should point with my mouse, not with my finger, orc hitting him would maybe cause 150 damage. And if he can absorb all 150 damage, he can then transform that into an ally. So some other friendly unit can actually get that much higher damage for his next attack. So he would be kind of support like this guy, but he would be in the middle of the combat absorbing attacks and using that to help his team. So I guess they wouldn't always last too long. I mean, you would have to buy a lot of them because the priest is always back here, so if you win, usually priest won't die, while cleric would be in the middle of the battle all the time. So do you have some ideas for what can he throw at the friendly units after absorbing the energy?
I don't know. Like healing, yeah, that's already said.
Right.
Heal and like buff that can... I don't know.
Actually, we also wanted to do something like this with him. We wanted him to have a dash and a shield that can reflect arrows. So here I had this idea that he can actually, get the, how do you call it, that energy from absorption. So he has to have one slot in order to use that reflection to reflect projectile. So he would actually gather that energy, and then he could see some arrow flying somewhere, and he can dash. Dash is not requiring that, just stamina, but then he can activate that shield with that absorbed energy. And not only that, he wouldn't absorb energy from that arrow, but he would reflect it right back to the whoever sent it.
Yeah, in the same direction.
Yeah, so Archer is shooting arrow, and then he dashes somewhere, meets that arrow, and brings it back to the archer. And he probably, in the middle of doing that, saved some ally. I cannot say ally. I'm gonna say friends from now. Friends. Ally. Some friend character. I'm always opening this. This is like a text document. Alright, so we have Shaman. So he would have like all kinds of totems, maybe healing, maybe some enchanting. Basically, he puts it on the ground. For instance, he would, if this was Shaman, he would put totem here, and it would enchant everybody around with higher damage or healing or stuff like that. Oh, this is one idea for totem. I'm not sure about this, we can play around, but it's a bit crazy. So imagine Shaman putting a totem that actually pulls everybody towards the totem and then explodes. Now that's very chaotic and crazy thing.
Yeah.
So maybe only if it has some crazy casting time, like he has to dance for 5 seconds to summon it or something. And maybe it wouldn't do huge damage. Maybe it just attracts everybody at one place. And then you also have a mage who can use that
situation.
So it would be just magnetic totem. Just that. Just that. I cannot get used to saying just that. Let's see, what else do we have here? Do you guys have some ideas for some totems that could be placed somewhere and do something with something? What do you think?
Heal totem. Okay, that's already.
We have two.
And stamina reg.
Yeah, maybe just
Totem.
stamina reg.
Just, you mean?
Just stamina reg. No, I'm saying just, I don't care about what anybody says. Stamina regeneration totem. Well, restores stamina to allies in area around. Ah. So just to tell you, this is the last one. So think of something we are losing the material.
Oh, a totem that increase the attacks and damages for attacks
This
on the
the one.
friendly unit.
Magic power
Ah, okay.
enhancement and physical damage. I should separate
Okay.
it. Yeah, we'll think of some other stuff too.
Yeah.
So what else we have here? We have Beast Hunter. So Beast Hunter is some units that is really strong against beasts. So we would have beasts as types of the like units, and we would also have behemoths. So behemoth is pretty much like a huge beast. Usually the fights would be one behemoth against 6 normal fighters. So it would be like a boss battle. I haven't slept enough. I can't even speak on Serbian,
battle.
so this is as good as it gets. So you can get beast hunters as fighters, and they are really good against maybe beasts or even against behemoths. So one of the things that they have is arrow of fatigue. Fatigue, I never said that word yet. And it drains stamina. It can drain stamina from normal units, but against beasts it's really more efficient. Like it's, I don't know, 2 times, we'll see. So he could also put a trap, and he would be like archer. Let me actually add an archer here. Friendly archer, and let's add one more warrior here. So imagine if this archer actually moves all the way here, puts a trap, and then goes a little bit back. And then he keeps shooting. And if somebody approaches and he steps accidentally into the trap, because trap is like invisible to other units, they could get trapped. But it's not going to happen that often because they're usually busy with something else. But Beast Hunter, he can actually shoot arrow of irritation, we will think of a better name, and that pulls attention of some beast or behemoth. So he would actually put a trap, attract a beast, and beast would run towards him and get into the trap. So that would be something useful. I'm gonna close this. I see a text document and I click on text document, that's all. So we also thought we should have beast masters, and they should have something that is working well together with other beasts, because you can have smaller beasts like some wolves or combinations of wolves or any kind of fantasy creature that seems to fit this world. And but we have no idea what could that be. What could how can they benefit from him? Like, will they have higher damage? Maybe he has some I don't know, a whistle or something, anything that makes sense. It would be like you know that TV show. There was some TV show where there is some beast hunter, beast master, could be even called like that. I can't remember right now. What do? How they communicate with animals, but there is not much that we can gain from them communicating, because what? Layering order is not the. No, this guy is dead. We don't have that animation.
Yeah.
I thought layering order was not working right. So, what could we do for these beast masters? How can they work together? it could be obvious, like he can have ability that increases damage or movement speed of beasts, something like that. So that would be the easy one, but let's see if we can figure out something more interesting. This orc is really now making the game look a lot different, even though he's the only good-looking one here, but it already feels like way different.
Yeah. He's dead, like.
Yeah. I think he can defeat 2 warriors, but
Yeah.
not with the priest.
The last match they won. Warrior and
Really?
yeah.
Huh.
Orc and archer won.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
can.
you see.
Yeah.
There it is.
Huh. Depends on a lot of knockdowns and whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you guys have some ideas, like, for any kind of unit that you would like to see here fighting? Like, what should you have? Some assassins, some rogues, some I don't know. What is there? What would be really interesting to see, like, in the arena fighting these guys?
I don't know what else should we talk about.
Me neither. I was... The last few days we were splitting because he was doing... Daniel, he was doing interface and I was just working on the game design or writing. And then I would gather a lot of material so I could talk for like an hour. But now we were both doing the programming for the animation, so...
Yeah.
I was doing this maybe for 20 minutes just to gather something to talk about, but... we figured, alright, we're gonna talk about it here, but that's the thing, I can spend 8 hours and think of like 30 minutes of material. And if we think of material here while talking, it's not that interesting. It's a lot of...
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Hey, Gengeishaishi, I cannot pronounce that. How about some sort of tricksters? Tricksters, what do you mean exactly? I know, I think in Warcraft 3 there is some kind of guy that's like a trickster. He's some machine guy, or do you mean trickster like a Joker? Like, wait, let me Google that. Maybe like a Joker, he means. Yeah. Like Shaco from League of Legends.
Oh, yeah, I know.
So somebody who kind of schemes around, tricks everybody, right?
Joker.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think? What kind of abilities can he have? Unleashing chaos. Yeah. That. I think that is an interesting thing to consider.
Yeah, why not?
But now I'm thinking, what can we do? Something that messes with them, just to, maybe. I'm instantly thinking about League of Legends and Shaco. Like, what does he have? He has these boxes. He can be invisible. He can have 2 of them. But. Alright, that's a start, if nothing. But what can we do here? Switching weapons and modifying abilities, maybe. Oh, we were talking about switching. We had a whole talk. We almost wanted to make the game...
Switching enemy positions.
If he is kind of a spellcaster and a trickster, that would be interesting, actually. Yeah, if he's just a trickster like Joker in our world from Batman, then we can't do really that much. But if he's also a spellcaster, so he can actually teleport and switch position with enemy, and maybe leave an illusion, and then they attack the illusion explodes and knocks them down, or stuff like that. Yeah, that's good. Thanks for the suggestion. I'm gonna write that down actually. That's really good. And best of all, it's new. We didn't have anything like that.
Yeah.
So it's Trickster. If I did not write it, it's good, I guess. So switch position teleport. We would find a better name, but that's the easiest to explain it right now. Then maybe creating illusion from his allies.
Yeah, maybe like hiding, making his allies in the stealth and make illusion of him, you know, or.
Well, it would
like
be more
this.
like if he put himself in stealth, because if he puts Orc in stealth, Orc will be like, "What the hell, dude? I wanna fight." But maybe just by making an illusion of this Orc,
There's wild cards.
wild cards make for every interesting game
very.
changing characters. Given they can play around with rules of the game itself. Huh. What else could we actually do with him? Alright, he can create illusion, he can... As you said, the rules of the game, yeah, maybe... Arrows, something with arrows. Alright, now I'm saying random things that probably won't end up, but let's say, imagine if he fires like, I don't know, 20 arrows, but they are all fake, but they are forcing them to
lose
get
the
into the
stamina
defense.
and to
Yeah,
get tired a
yeah,
bit for
definitely.
this.
Fake arrows. A lot of them, making enemies lose stamina.
Yeah.
Defending for nothing. Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
one.
Oh yeah, we didn't tell about these enemies can defend themselves. Like
Yeah, maybe we should
if
explain
someone
that, yeah.
is hitting them with X, like the orc is doing.
Yeah, now he'll bring a shield.
No,
He didn't.
he won't because he has shield.
Shield from priest, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so now they will kill him, and now she will start. Alright, she doesn't have a block or anything like that, but she has dodge. So as they are doing this, alright, these animations are not really neither good nor they work good in this slow motion, because they're all like looking like the same thing, but basically she dodges. There, she tried, if nothing else. Another idea for a unit could be an animal. Its unique characteristic could be its raw and unprofessional, but still effective and adaptability. We will have beasts as a type of the characters. We will have fighters. These are all fighters. We will have demons. Demons are just a stronger version of fighter with more abilities. So we can have orc, warrior, demon, and he would have just more stuff to him, and he would be strong like 3 normal orcs. Then we would have beasts. And beasts could be some wolves, some tigers, fantasy variation of these creatures, right? They could be anything that fits really in this world. And we have behemoths. These are the huge beasts that are like boss battles. So it would take like 6 enemies to defeat one behemoth if they are well positioned.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have that actually. How about Mongolian worms? Is that the thing that goes from the ground? And I think we had that. I think we had. I mean, I know we had that. Let me just check if we think about the same thing. Mongolian worm. Yeah, it's like from the Dune, right? Given they would be unseen, the player would have to remember the ground itself is a danger and think around it. Think about it is that it's a management game, so it's all about figuring out what kind of team you want and managing all aspects of your well, trading, buying new characters, sending them to do stuff around the arena, but you won't actually have control in the arena. This is something just you position them and select who you want and select the battle that you want, and then you just let it play out.
Yeah.
So it puts the arena part in the game. See, the player would have to run around. Alright, but generally a beast like this wouldn't be a worse thing.
Yeah.
We just need to figure out. We haven't been thinking about beasts at all, so let's say it's a worm and you maybe don't see it, or you just see like a trail underground, you know, the ground digging itself. So it just goes, it poof goes out somewhere, and then attacks, and then maybe goes down into the ground.
Goes down again.
So maybe you only have a short period of time to hit it or something like that.
We could think about it.
Yeah, it could even be like a small worms that are fighters, and we can even have a behemoth that is a worm. The player should not see it. That should be the danger of it, in my opinion. Aha, so you mean it should just I know. So yeah, here's the thing. We also are probably going to have not exactly rogues, but mana assassins. These are the guys who can become invisible, and for you as a player, if you have them, you would see them 50% transparently. And if it's from the enemy, I figured that you should still see them. Now, the other option is for you not to see the enemy rogue, and then he would just appear somewhere. But still, what do you think? What is more fun?
I don't know. Maybe it's fun that you actually don't see him at all.
Yeah.
And your units that are invisible, you can see.
Yeah, and then you know.
But the enemy units you cannot.
It also maybe can make more sense, because then.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're like, he's right there, shoot him. Maybe somebody won't understand that he's invisible to them. So yeah, in the same way for worm. Maybe you can see the worm crawling if it's yours.
Maybe someone, some unit could have this like ability to summon like a big worm, and it's underground and suddenly can eat one of your units, you know.
Aha,
so and you don't know which one would it be.
Aha. You mean like killing me?
yeah, like that's it, killing, swallowing, and.
Huh. So some units. All right. I'm thinking about it, but then how would we deal with it if it's like I don't know, if he targets a demon unit that is really strong? Here is an idea. Let's say that there is a unit that is almost like a Beastmaster that we wanted to have, but he's not a Beastmaster, he's just some guy who is really good friends with a worm. Not really, but he has a connection with a worm. So that's all he does. He doesn't fight, he doesn't do anything, he just sits there, meditates, and control his worm. Yeah, he's controlling the worm. It's like he's in the mind of the worm, but he's useless. If somebody approaches him, hits him, he will die, and that's it. So he's super vulnerable, but the worm can instant kill somebody. Now, there are problems, of course. What if it kills the demon that is super strong, that is higher
like
level
6 or 10?
Maybe it doesn't kill anybody. Maybe it just goes through the ground and does really high damage and goes down.
and goes down again.
And you cannot kill the worm, you can kill just this guy.
Maybe, yeah.
So that would be... How should I call you? Gen... Gen. I'm gonna call you Gen. Is that alright? That is too long for me to even read. So what do you think? What do you think about this? Should we have worm be some kind of a guy who is like sitting here and the worm is roaming? Now, the issue with that might be that you might get angry at your character for not targeting this guy.
Yeah.
Alright. There is always that, like, we first we have game we had these characters act a bit well, kind of smarter but not really. So in this instance, if this guy warrior weren't lying and were fighting here with the archer and this orc attacked his priest, he would be like, wait a second, our priest is attacked. It would be like aggro from this attack would be sent to him.
It was
and
so complicated.
Yeah.
Like we were trying to make like AI and to be really smart, but
then we seen that like if this warrior starts going back, everybody is going to die, because not only that he won't finish this archer, he will lose the time going all the way here while he's being shot at. So it turned out even worse. And in some situations they seemed smart, in some they seemed stupid, so they at the end seemed kind of random.
yeah.
And then we figured, alright, maybe we need to dumb them down a little bit, and they actually started looking more, well, smarter.
Yeah, that was a really big problem because we can't even know what's the best situation to do.
Yeah,
basically, if he's fighting this archer and the orc is hitting his friend priest, so what is the...
We don't know. So
we don't know what's the best thing to do. Maybe he gets back to hit the orc and then draw his attention, and then
maybe, but how far
priest
away is
would
he?
heal him and give him the shield, and there's so many things to
but how much health does
get
priest
in-
have, how much stamina, all these
Yeah.
stats.
So we figured out, well, there is really no processing power for this calculation.
Even if there were, it's still how
It's
do you
still-
tweak it? When
Yeah,
is the
yeah,
right
well-
moment? You don't know. Plus it's random, so there is no right moment. It's
Yeah.
random. Maybe Archer misses him with the arrows, so he does well. He just escapes and helps the priest.
Yeah.
So overall, right now we figured, alright, let's make them a bit more predictable, so at least player can predict what is going to happen, and that's the point of the game.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that's that. So, what were we talking about? Yeah, and then we were talking about this guy who summons the worm. So it's interesting thing that all the power is randomly appearing in the map, and he's vulnerable only here. But then will we be angry because nobody targeted him? If he was here. But maybe we won't. We expect them to target guys in the front. We seen that he was positioned here. Or that's why you position him always in the back.
That's why you put Archer in there, and like that's it. He would kill him with like 2-3 arrows, you know.
Yeah, if he's here and there is always two more guys, you can put Archer here,
Yeah.
and somebody will target him.
Yeah.
He's like high priority if he's in the range.
Yeah. If he's not, basically Archer would find the ideal position based on the accuracy, and then they would shoot him.
Alright, this is actually pretty interesting because it's different. It's completely different power dynamic for him to be weak but strong. So let's call this guy Worm Master. Guy meditating while controlling a worm underground. Have you thought of classifying demons based on such things as the seven deadly sins? Imagine the demons based on the sins of envy being a lot of little green-eyed gremlins that overwhelm your units. Well, we haven't really, because it's a whole new universe, so we wouldn't really bring our religion and most of our beliefs in it. Some of them are universal, of course, but we haven't. But general idea of a lot of small green guys attacking is perfectly doable for this game. Actually, you would have quests that you can do. So there is you need to manage few things in your camp with your gladiators. Like, they are not really slaves, so they are fighters, and you're paying them and you're buying the food for them, and then your fights need to be profitable. But again, sometimes somebody from the nearby farm will come and say like, oh, there are ghouls in my farm, please help me. And then you can send your warriors. So maybe you send, I don't know, 2 mages and priests and 2 warriors to fight 12 small ghouls. I don't know how to pronounce it. Ghouls. And then that would be almost like a lot of small green guys overwhelming them. And yeah, something like small gremlins, or, well, we'll try to name them something a bit differently, but generally we can have things like that. And especially in side quests, there you can have all kinds of big groups of units. Another interesting thing is that you can actually, you have staff also. So some of them are trainers, some of them are traders, and they're actually, you send them to the market and they pop up from time to time some deal, like, hey, we can buy a lot of food for this, or hey, look at this warrior, he's cheap, let's buy him, or maybe, hey, they want to buy your orc, anything like that. And you can also hire scouts, and then scout can tell you, oh, I spotted a huge behemoth down the mountain somewhere, and then you can send a party of your units to hunt him down, and if you manage to get his health to the 1 or 0, then you capture him and you actually have a new unit, a behemoth to fight in your arena.
Are there items in this game? Yes.
Yes, although they are just potions for now.
Yeah.
We wanted to add actually weapons, and then we run into a bazillion complications, and we were like, alright, maybe just items for now, maybe just potions. Yeah. What were the complications again?
Well, complications was with the animation itself, and there's basically a lot of things that can't work together.
Yeah,
For
exactly.
example, this orc.
Imagine him having a dagger.
Or shooting an arrow.
Yeah, so we would need animations for everything, and then it's fine.
Basically,
it's doable.
We don't have the budget for,
it's doable,
for this.
But we would have to have 5 characters in total, because if we want that much animations, because as you said, budget. Yeah. So we won't actually have the weapon and stuff like that, but we will have potions. So at the start of each battle, you can drag a potion over the character, and maybe that potion is giving him some passive ability, or maybe just increasing his strength or health or something like that. So there is a little bit of preparation. Yeah. And then you can.
It's open for discussion in the future that we maybe put some more item types.
Definitely. So,
yeah, we are thinking about that.
Again, what do you think? What would you put here, considering what we said, that we can't really go super crazy with animations?
Yeah.
There were options where we change, like, alright, only the X's go into the X slot and stuff like that. But then again, what was the problem? yeah, it's too much. Like this is like very specific big X. Like how many
Yeah.
types of the items should we have? But what do you think? What other items could we actually have that maybe doesn't affect animations as much? And also the thing about it is that they will have permanent death. Well, you could bring somebody back to life if you have an altar, and then they have a long cooldown, so maybe every 10 days you can do it. So you can save your favorite character if you want to, like, put him in the risky
Yeah.
battle, but generally...
Well, basically, you have the camp, like, and your, yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah. You have a camp, and you have there like gladiators and stuff like buildings and
Yeah,
everything.
usually
You have to
tents,
manage the food, the
Yeah.
gold and everything, and you buy the gladiators and go into battle with them. But if I mean, we call them gladiators, but they are
It's the closest name, but they're
closest
not
name because
gladiators.
it's the arena
Yeah.
fight. So if he dies, that's it. You don't have him anymore.
Yeah.
That's it basically.
But the
And
thing...
you have to buy another one. So
Exactly, yeah. The thing is that in this fantasy world, they have these arena games that are now legal again. They weren't for some time, so there is like some backlash and some story about all that. But overall, the local lords, they have to pay every guy who holds this camp every month. So every month you get some income, and you also get some upgrades for your camp. So it's almost like a roguelite, a little bit, because your characters are dying, but again, at every end of the month you get some additional income, maybe you get a cage, maybe you get more space for fighters, or higher level demons, or better mana pool to increase power of your spellcasters. So you're rising through the ranks, through the power with that, and also just with you learning, like, alright, so archers are good against orc warriors, so
yeah, it's basically like management, like
Yeah.
game. And when you go to find the battle, you will see like what's the enemy.
there you go.
Yeah, when you accept that, then
You have 3 battles here. You can choose to put 2 of your units to fight against these 2 guys, or here you can only put 4 units, and here they have a demon. It was a hero.
it was a
that,
hero, but we
like,
changed. Yeah.
Yeah. So now it's a demon version of that unit, so he's strong, kind of like a 3 normal unit. So I need to figure out, alright, what 3 units can kill an orc demon? And the answer is archers, because this orc, he cannot block the arrows. He doesn't have a shield, and he's not fast enough to block with weapon.
Yeah. And yeah, when you accept one of the 3 battles, you have like we don't have that.
We don't have...
You have like arena, and you have like grid, and you can position your units wherever you want. And basically, that's part of the tactics. So, and yeah, it's really important that you
Huge difference.
position your units as best as you can. For example, you would like to put priests back and warriors and orcs in front. So, and archers, you could put them like at the sides and something like that.
We had something like this, and when they were all around, they would lose every time. And if they were all together, well, it was against specific position of enemies as well, but it was, I think there were orcs. Alright, it's going to look a little bit... It's going to look kind of bad right now, because they are...
Yeah, they're looking in the wrong direction.
Yeah, but never mind. We need them to, for the example. I don't know if this is going to work actually.
They're walking backwards.
We're gonna win anyway. No, more orcs. We did orc.
Yeah, orc moonwalk.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see now. I'm just gonna speed it up. And orcs won. They didn't win but that much. Oh. Did they just lose? No. Usually orcs win here, right? I can't tell because they don't have that animation, so I think we should add like one more orc. Anyway, the example was that if we now change the positions like this, it will be so much better, because if they don't separate, mage can target all of them with his spell, with his firebolt, and then he's going to do much more damage, plus the archers, they're not going to miss as much because everybody's in the group. So in this case, this should be more efficient. And it's not. Never mind. It worked last time, I don't know.
Yeah.
The last time we had a situation where it was like, if they were separated, they would lose. If they were together, they would win without a single guy dying.
Yeah.
But it was a different setup, I think, and...
Yeah. So, yeah, the positioning of your units is very important.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the very important tactics.
What do you think again about all this, and what would you maybe change, add, remove? Do you have any ideas about any of the aspects?
The game is really early in development. Yeah, we still have these placeholder animations and too many things.
Now let's give them one priest. I'm just gonna make some.
Seems fine to me. It's good.
Oh, yeah. This is just something that really... Oh no!
Yeah, it's okay, but it's...
I just figured that the shield thing actually needs to scale with however big he is.
Yeah, yeah.
The thing there... Oh, they're too strong. No way. But we can't really wait to get new animations.
Yeah.
Because it's such a day and night difference. Look at them. Alright, let's add to the anime. Who should we add? Mage. They're gonna win definitely with the mage. Let's try.
One more archer.
Mage is really strong because he's going to target both of them, or maybe even... They managed to survive it?
This guy...
The problem is that... No, they are knocked out. They should be down on the ground.
Yeah.
But there is no animation right now. Yeah. Alright.
We're currently working on some bug fixes today and tomorrow, but generally we're working with the whole UI system and interface, inventory, inventory. We're making the camp, market, town, and yeah.
So in probably a month and a half, maybe two, I don't know, we are going to have a basic gameplay loop. So
yeah.
If anybody is interested in trying out the beta or following how this is going on, you can join. Oh my god, man. Join the Discord. And we're going to be sharing some of the beta keys there, and you can even win the game there.
Yeah. Yeah, by the way, this game is planned for PC, Steam, and yeah.
Right. Also for consoles, but that is going to come later. Yeah.
That's way later, and
I just noticed that. Alright, can you post the link to Discord server? Well, that would be. I think we have it. I think we have it on the Twitch. Are you on Twitch? Yes, you are. So I'm going to post it anyway. Here it is. We just made it, so you will be like a third person who joins. I mean, we have few more, but they're only people we know. Yeah, I can minimize this.
Yeah, and yeah, I think basically that's it for today's stream.
Yeah. I shared what was made, and thank you for hanging out with us again. It was pleasure talking with you, and there are some good ideas. Both the worm guy and the trickster. These are something that is different. This is what we are looking for. Something to just to have every single character be different enough to, you know, well, not different enough, very different, so that it makes sense to put them together and then see how will they work together. And for instance, we will add shaman. So shaman has a totems, and now with totems it's a whole different play, because now there is a thing that is healing everybody, and it's changing a lot. That would be nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
Feel free to hang out, like
we're streaming every day from Monday to Friday at
1 hour before this we start.
Yeah,
we've been streaming for an hour, so
that's
it's
like
9 a.m. Central. Who knows?
Central time.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it.
Right.
So thank you for your time, and see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Same time.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.